Two feature races commence and the road to the Perth Cup and Galaxy continues this weekend at Mandurah and Cannington. Hello, my name is James Broadhurst. Welcome to the Wednesday Preview. Hayden King not with us this week, so we've got, for his first time on the preview, Jesse Erenshaw. Welcome to the show, Jesse.
Good morning, James. It's always a pleasure to be here for the first time. Looking forward to finding some winners over the weekend, and a nice little pick today on Wednesday would be nice as well.
That'd be good, yeah, for sure. Son of a gun, and of course, one of our up-and-coming race callers here in Western Australia. Jesse, your old man, Terry Erenshaw, one of my favourite trainers in the game, I've got to say. He's a little bit enigmatic because we don't see him at the track a lot, no. But never turns you down if you want to quote on something, and he's always got something interesting to say. Really good guy. Look, been in the game for a long time. You've witnessed it firsthand. The kennel's always got good dogs. Give us a little bit of a snapshot about how the kennel's going at the moment.
Yeah, really good form. We've had a litter coming through at the moment. Fernando Valdivia Storm, they're going through the grades quite nicely. Still got a couple of older greyhounds who yet to show their best, and I think we're going to put their best paw forward over the weekend too.
All right, okay, let's get into the weekend, and as mentioned, a couple of feature races kicking off. Let's head down to Mandurah first, and we've got the Chase Series, and we thought we'd have a look at the second heat, Jesse, because we've got a Erenshaw dog engaged in this one. Give us the lowdown on Bromine.
Yeah, he's going okay without being brilliant. He's done things wrong in the past, so the blinkers go on for the second time in full race conditions. He wasn't a disgrace last week, but I think there's a lot more improvement in him. It's a tough field. We've got Fabriola Ali, who loves box number 1, and Who Told Tough is a personal favourite of mine. He's got that 22-22 personal best, and anytime you're sort of running those times, you're going to be awfully hard to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Fabriola Ali. Look, the form has tapered off a touch, I thought, over the past month or so, but has been competing at free-to-all level, so a bit of a drop back here. And as you mentioned, Who Told Tough had that short campaign in Tassie last year. Was an impressive last start winner when he got up last Friday. In fact, let's have a look at that run, and it is Who Told Tough exiting here from the red, but he's only away fairly, and it is Lil Bodie in the black carving across to the front as Who Told Tough slips up along the rail to third place. As they approach the turn, Who Told Tough has pushed onto the heels of the leader, and then when they hit the home straight, Who Told Tough is finishing the stronger. He edges to the lead at the right time and carries the day in 22.68. Really handy run. Look, he needs a clear path in this heat, but I thought he was a big threat. Those are the two that are the threat to your dogs, to Bromine, Fabriola Ali and Who Told Tough.
Yeah, there's some talented types, slight launch control in there, and Zeke, who's a box 8 specialist. In fact, the whole litter's a box 8 specialist. Weston Hazy's been in good form. Terralogic's winner over the trip in the past, so it's a talented lineup, and you wouldn't be surprised to see if that ended up being the final, with a field like that.
All right, okay. That's the Chase Heats at Mandurah on Friday. We'll cover the final next week. We've got 4 heats of the Canning Trophy on Saturday night. Of course, Crumble Manelli goes round in the 4th heat. Box 1. Thought he'd be pretty short, so we thought we'd have a look at maybe a couple of these other heats there on Saturday night. Let's kick off with the first one, Heat 1. And look, what do you make of this field, Jesse? Lupini Manelli, surprising to me, has only won 3 of 23 starts. I think the dog's probably a bit better than that, yeah, but still finding a way not to win. Of course, has been a runner-up 9 times. Little dog generally doesn't burst out of the trap, so she has to do it tough. Having her first start, believe it or not, out of the red here. Kanya Mir righted the ship last week, led all the way to win in 29.86. Can she lead again? Probably needs to if she's going to win this one, but likely to start favourite here. And some of these other dogs, Falcon 9, handy dog, but record at Cannington, not as good at Mandurah. Robotnik has placed in 7 of his past 9, but hasn't won since early November. How do you read this one?
It's certainly a good field, a very open field. Falcon 9, I don't like him from an inside draw. He tends to switch off around the outside. Same to Robotnik, but he's a greyhound who I do follow a lot. He's got a big motor on him. Kanya Mir, Mia was really an exciting youngster, had no luck at all in the Puppy Classic heat, so I think she'll be a lot better for the run. We see Bang first up for Damien Credelli. Form hasn't been flash, but was racing in good company down at Sandown. And then we got Iconic Indu, who is another quick beginner, and West on Sider's form at Mandurah has been outstanding. Had that 27.47 run a couple of weeks ago.
Who's your pick?
I'll say Kanya Mia, without much confidence since it's such an open race.
Yeah, I'll probably agree with you on that one there, Jesse. All right, let's swing over to the third heat. And, well, Custom Manelli just got absolutely pinballed around in that Puppy Classic final, didn't he? But did well to recover and run third. Thought that run was really full of merit. Dog gets box 2 in this race. It is another race, though, with a lot of handy runners. I thought Delphini is worth a look here. Is an emergent chaser, has won 3 of his past 4, a top 3 finish from his past 7. That was primarily at Mandurah, but last week he did venture to headquarters and collected the W. Let's have a look at that. This is him in box 6, squeezing through to be level pegging with Winnie Woo Woo in the run to the post, but then he's able to slip ahead on the turn and put some distance on the field.
Order, Mr. Dusty, then followed by Little Miss Ava. Well back in the field was raised. Father Manelli sees them all down the back. Delphini out by 2.5 lengths. West on Mortar. Winnie Woo Woo to the outside. Getting checked was Mr. Dusty, then followed by Little Miss Ava, but on the corner, Delphini race away for Lewis Clay. Out by 5 lengths on West on Mortar, and Delphini wins by 6.
Okay, a lot to like about that run, Jesse, but what about some of the other dogs in this one?
Oh, Ripping Grace is a greyhound, always catches my eye. You don't see too many greyhounds run home in 11.10 over the 520 metres. 600 metre form's been really solid. I don't think she's actually won a race over the 600 metres, which is a bit of a surprise considering how strong she is, but she's run into some talented types like Speed Freak, Custard Manelli, Kanya Mia, and It's a Dime. So I think Ripping Grace from that draw could squeeze up and be the one to beat. Like you said, Delphini is greyhound with a massive motor. Lewis Clay's team has been on fire. I think a couple of weeks ago he had 4 winners at Mandurah on the main provincial meeting.
Night, yeah.
And Zipping Wilbur goes right, shows a bit of early speed. Mandurah form's probably a bit better than Cannington. Moment to Hustle was a good last up winner last week in 22.60 odd around Mandurah, so definitely a field with a lot of chances.
What do you make of Custom Manelli? Obviously a brother to Crumble Manelli. It's different racing styles, isn't it? But in some ways maybe a better race dog. Not that Crumble Manelli isn't a good race, putting the runs on the board at the moment, but in terms of, because he doesn't have that early speed, he has to kind of work his way through a field.
He's got good track sense. We didn't sort of see it in the Puppy Classic final, but he's a lot better than that run sort of suggests with clear air. I don't think he's quite up to Crumble's ability, sort of out of the boxes, and you can't keep up with dogs running those sort of times.
Yeah.
If you're running 29.70 in front, you've got to be a 29.60 dog to run the other dog down. So he's not quite at that level, but he's definitely a greyhound to keep following.
All right. Rip and Grace for you in this one?
Yep, I'll go with Rip and Grace.
All right, that is the Canning Trophy heats at Cannington on Saturday night. Hey, I thought we'd have a look at one of the other races here on Saturday night. Heading back in the card to race 2. This is the Grade 5 over the 700 metre journey. Got the field up now. Do want to discuss this race specifically, but just want to open it to a wider conversation about our staying ranks here in WA. Just quickly, for this race, Jesse, more than half of this field having their first start over the 715 metre trip. Obviously, some of these dogs with an eye towards the Galaxy in a few weeks' time. Any concerns with the likes of, say, Couch Surfer, It's a Dime stepping up to this trip?
I think it's always going to be a question mark. It's the 647 to 715, it's still a big step up, talking about an extra 60, 70 metres. And we've seen greyhounds go from the 520 to the 600 who have cracking run homes and just sort of don't repeat it over the 600. So, that being said, I still think Couch Surfer deserves to be not only the favourite for this race, but the favourite for the Galaxy. He does look hard to beat. He's got that early speed. He flies to the sectionals. So I'll be putting him on top, and I think he's going to be hard to beat from the Galaxy. It's a Dime wasn't disgraced in that final at Mandurah, the middle distance challenge last week. Got some talented types like Flashing Kuna, who's run some quick times over the 600 stepping up. West on Jillaby is a personal favourite of mine. We've got dogs in this field like Clifton Cruz and Sar Bell, who'll be coming for the Galaxy and should be hitting prime form ready for that series.
Well, I was just going to say, look, and I agree with you. I think Couch Surfer should be okay over the 700 here, and just has been absolutely superb since stepping up to the 600. Mentioned as we look ahead to the Galaxy, Zarbel has been campaigning over in Victoria. He comes back. Where are the other stayers? Maybe Superman Keeping. We've last seen that dog in Brisbane. He won the Christmas gift at the end of last year. We're not sure what the status of Pilbara Soda Seville is.
Yep.
So it really is interesting and interesting that we're heading into this race and we're having these dogs that haven't even stepped up to the 700 yet as kind of some of the main contenders.
Yeah, well,
or that looked like they're going to be the main
if
contenders.
we're going to have a local Galaxy right now, it'd be this 700 metre field on Saturday night.
Plus a couple others.
Yeah, you'd throw in Superman Keeping and Saab Bell. They're probably the only two here that aren't in the race that are contenders for the Galaxy. Interstate chases will be interesting because there's, in all due respect, there's not too many 700 metre dogs around Australia that are going superb that you'd risk sending over here at the moment, I don't think.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, you would probably follow these closer than I do. It's just interesting, but look, so this race on Saturday does give us a pretty good indication of where this series is going to head, looks like.
Yeah, well, it will be the interesting race, and be plenty of form to follow out of this race going into the next couple of weeks.
All right, well, for sure. Speaking of the Galaxy, of course, that happens in conjunction with the Perth Cup, which is coming up. Less than a month away now, Jesse. Heats on the 11th of March and the final on the 18th of March. This is going to be a great series. Plenty to look forward to, and hopefully people can get down and see the action for themselves.
Yes. It's always an interesting couple of weeks leading up to the Perth Cup, where you had that Puppy Classic final. Form lines suggest in years past that a couple of those greyhounds who go through the Puppy Classic always look hard to beat when it comes to the Perth Cup series, so look out for Kreml Manelli, who would probably be my on-top selection right now for the Perth Cup.
Absolutely, yeah, he's put himself in contention for sure. Hey, that's going to be a busy week, that Perth Cup final week, because the night before at Mandurah, that's our final Friday night before we shut the track down for renovation, so make sure you get along to the Mandurah track on the 17th of March as well. Do the double, 17th and 18th. Get down on the 17th for the renovation celebration. Plenty happening down there as well. A lot of activities for the kids and free entry as it always is. All right, that's ahead of us. Closer to home, Jesse, we've got racing tonight at headquarters. You got a best bet for us?
Yep, race 3, number 3, Obstropolis. I think he's ready to win his maiden. He's run into some handy types like Stephen Manelli, and from box 3, he's got a slow beginner in his inside. I think he should be winning on tonight. That is.
All right, okay. Well, I'm heading towards race 4, number 3, Navy Blue Buzz. Really nice maiden win on debut last week. Think he gets a chance to follow up again this time round. Look, certainly if he's able to get around Sandpatch early, which is the most likely threat to him in this race, I think he should do really well. So race 4, number 3, Navy Blue Buzz. That's a tough one for the race callers.
Obstropolis is another one. We've gone for the tongue twister, Quinella.
Hey, what's been your hardest challenge so far in race calling?
I think it's when those 3 word names that start with the same syllables. They're always the tough. Personal favourite of mine was Mermaid Manelli. That was always a tough one to spit out, especially when she was spearing the lids, going 5:30 to the first split.
And you just know that some of these dogs have been named specifically to trip you up, haven't they?
Yeah, there's one in Victoria at the moment going around. I can't remember the name of it, but if you were to look at it, you just go, how am I supposed to pronounce that, let alone pronounce with 7 other dogs?
Get on the phone to the connections and get them to give you the pronunciation. Hey, when are you calling next?
A couple of weeks' time on a Sunday. Might even be the final meeting from Mandurah. I'm not quite sure.
Okay, right. Well, something to look forward to. Hey, listen, if you can't make it to the track over the next week or so, make sure you do, because there's plenty of good racing, and it is free entry. We'll catch you next week on the Wednesday Preview.